Have you ever looked at your life and thought, how did I end up here? And then felt that quiet voice whisper, it's time to start over? But the idea terrifies you, right? Because starting over feels like admitting defeat, like erasing everything you worked for, like proof you somehow failed. But what if the opposite is true? Starting over can feel like hitting a giant red reset button on a life you built piece by piece. It's uncomfortable, it's vulnerable, and honestly, it's scary. But here's the truth most people never tell you. Starting over isn't a sign of weakness. It's one of the strongest decisions you can make. Hello and welcome. If you're new here, I'm Christabel, your guide on the journey to radiant mental and physical well-being. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and join this beautiful community. In this video, we're going to unpack why beginning again is a sign of growth, not failure, what science says about change, and how to start fresh without fear or shame. By the end, I want you to walk away feeling this one thing deeply. You're not starting from scratch, you're starting from experience. Let's be real, no one dreams of starting over. It doesn't sound glamorous, it sounds like loss. Like you should have had it figured out by now. But research tells a different story. A Harvard study found that people who view change as opportunity rather than setback are 43% more likely to experience long-term happiness. Why? Because your brain is built to adapt, not to stay stuck. That adaptability is called neuroplasticity. Every time you try something new, make a different choice, or begin again, your brain physically rewires itself. You don't downgrade when you start over, you upgrade. Think of it like a video game. You may have lost a life, but now you know where the traps are. You don't start at zero, you start with wisdom. And if you think successful people never restart, let's clear that myth right now. J.K. Rowling was a broke single mother writing in cafes. Steve Jobs was fired from the company he built. Oprah was told she wasn't fit for television. At the time, those moments looked like failure. In hindsight, they were turning points. What changed their lives wasn't luck, it was the courage to begin again. So why do we avoid starting over? Why do we stay in jobs that drain us, relationships that no longer fit, or versions of ourselves we've outgrown? Two words: fear and ego. Psychologists call it the status quo bias. Your brain prefers familiar discomfort over unfamiliar possibility. Even if your current situation hurts, it's predictable, and predictability feels safe. So we stay, and slowly that staying erodes our confidence. We tell ourselves, maybe it's too late, maybe I missed my chance, maybe this is just how life is. But those thoughts aren't facts. They are fear wearing logic as a disguise. Here is what most people get wrong. Starting over doesn't always mean quitting everything or reinventing your life overnight. Sometimes it starts internally. Psychologists call this a cognitive reframe, changing the story you tell yourself. I failed becomes I learned. I wasted time becomes I gained clarity. And this isn't positive thinking, it's powerful thinking. A Stanford study found that people who viewed life transitions as fresh starts were 3 times more likely to take positive action within 30 days. Why? Because permission changes behavior. When you stop fighting your reality and start working with it, momentum returns. And here's the part no one talks about. Starting over opens doors the old version of you couldn't even see. Sometimes the life you want doesn't exist where you're standing now. It exists on the other side of letting go. Here's the truth. you may need to hear today. You're allowed to outgrow the version of yourself you once worked so hard to become. That job made sense at some point, maybe not anymore. That relationship felt right until it didn't. That dream taught you something, and now it's time to pivot. Starting over doesn't erase your past, it honors it. It says, I've grown enough to choose differently now. Here's a powerful question to ask yourself. If I wasn't afraid, what would I do next? That answer? That's your next chapter waiting for you. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's choosing growth anyway. And when you do, life responds, not because opportunities suddenly appear, but because now you're finally ready to see them. So if you're standing in that in-between place right now, between what was and what could be, pause here for a moment. You don't need clarity. You don't need a full plan. You just need permission. Starting over is messy for sure. It's emotional, but it's also proof that you're brave enough to evolve. Every new beginning is life saying, you've learned what you needed. Now, let's build something even better. You are not starting from scratch, you're starting from strength. If this video stirred something in you, don't ignore it. The next video on your screen will show you just how to rebuild confidence after years of playing small. Start there, and if this resonated, like, share, or subscribe. It helps get this message to others who need it too. Now, tell me in the comments, what are you ready to begin again? Until next time, stay radiant and take gentle care of your beautiful mind and body.